Hi, I'm Marshall Stern, and I've spent over 35 years leading and growing multiple small businesses. I know firsthand the struggles of entrepreneurship, feeling isolated, lonely, overwhelmed, and feeling like you have to do it all by yourself. I've been through multiple recessions, and I have felt the highs and the lows. I've been there, and I get it. This podcast is here to change that. Every week, I will bring you straight talking advice, real-world strategies, and honest conversations about what it takes to succeed in business without the fluff, the gimmicks, or the sugarcoating. If you're ready to stop spinning your wheels and start making real progress, then you are in the right place. This is the Stern Truth. All right, welcome back, everyone. Another episode of the Stern Truth, Business Unfiltered. And I want to introduce you to my special guest on, I don't know if it's my left or my right, however way you're seeing it. Yulia, how are you doing today?
Hi, everybody. I'm really good. Thank you for having me today.
So we find you, I believe, in Brazil.
Yes, I'm in Rio right now, in Brazil. I'm spending my winter time here, and most of the time I was dating the here.
Nice. Tell us a little bit about, now I want to get into, well, tell us who you are. You told us who you are, what you do, because that's going to really feed into, I want to hear about your entrepreneurial journey, what takes you to Brazil, how you work it all, but also definitely we're going to get into some really, some golden nuggets, as I like to call them, for business owners and entrepreneurs on how they can actually become more productive. But we're going to hold off on that because people have no idea who you are, or some people might, what you do. And then that'll sort of lead into some really good stuff for them. So take it away. Tell us about your journey? What do you do?
Sure. So I've been teaching flexibility for 14 years. And flexibility is not just stretching or yoga, as many people might think. Flexibility, in my understanding, requires Pilates, functional training, functional body movements, and posture work, which lead you to better mobility and to a better range of motion. And I've been teaching that, as I said, 14 years. I had my studio in Bali, then I moved to Vancouver, and I started to work for the different studios, run the workshops. I used to run the retreats worldwide, like in Mexico and Bali. Um, and yes, now I work online. And yeah, I just moved all my business like towards a complete freedom, like not like to not being stuck in one location. And yeah, I do it online and teach people.
So it's funny, for those of you who are listening to this podcast, not watching on YouTube, every time Yulia says the word posture, I'm like sitting up straight. Okay, so funny. So just keep saying posture, and then I'll make sure that my posture is better. So you said 14 years?
Yes, 14 years. I started quite earlier, like when I was 17, actually. And flexibility just was always inspired me because I've noticed that, let's say, you have like a stressful period of your life, and I've noticed that my body gets tighter, even though like I don't really necessarily change anything in my diet and my like day-to-day life. But yeah, my body was kind of protecting myself, and I was finding it really interesting. And how my body after that was like affecting my mental state, and how like let's say this is like downward spiral. Like you start to feel a little bit down, then your body closing a little bit, then you're losing a little bit of your energy, then you feel weird, and then it just like everything affects your day-to-day life. And then after I started with different practices, I noticed that you can like reverse this process, and that was like probably the first turning point for me. That was exciting.
Wow. Okay, so I have so many questions. I'm going to take notes myself. So like I always say to our listeners, grab a pad of paper and pen. And I think definitely with this one, 100%. But before we go there, tell us about the 14 years in business. Tell us what would be one of the biggest challenges, let's say, it's a question I like to ask, biggest challenges in your entrepreneurial journey.
So, yeah, I feel like this is the thing that in business, when I first started, I was thinking like, okay, I don't want to have a regular job. I don't want to work for anybody. I have so many ideas. Those ideas are awesome, and I definitely gonna do it. So, and once I will put the things in places, it's gonna be perfect. be just chilling and enjoying the results of my work. But that was kind of an illusion because the more you grow, the more people you get on your team, the more people, like the more clients you get, it's kind of like there's like new challenges always coming. And it's like a never ending process, you know. And I actually find like the more you grow, the more challenges you have. It's just the different types of challenges. And well, I feel like the biggest challenges would be like just like life challenges, you know, like relationship things and like family things, like personal stuff that happens that would affect your own productivity of the business. And that would be like very personally would add a lot of stress. But yeah, in terms of business challenge, I would say like hiring more people and understanding that everybody, like the more, like the bigger team you have, the more you have to like understand the different, like the more your business has to be on ways like structure, your self-discipline. You need to understand that everybody is different and have like a ways of communicating, different ways to put things like and make things down that you ask them to do. And it's just like, yeah, there's like every time, like every day, there's like a lot of new lessons and more like challenges that's coming up. But it's just, you know, it's never ending process, I would say.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like you mentioned, the first one that came top of mind with you was the family, like the personal stuff that affects our business, right? And so that's, I mean, that's fair game. Like it's life happens, right? Life happens in real time and it does affect our business. So that is a business challenge. Our family, our personal life is a business challenge because, and our business challenges become our personal challenges. It
Yes.
goes both ways. Now it's about managing it and all of that kind of good stuff. Um, so do you find, I'm curious, like, so you spend part of your time in Brazil, part of your time in Vancouver? Like,
No, so basically, I based in Vancouver, but I like to go out for the winter time every year.
Mhm.
I moved to Vancouver like not that long ago, like just 2 years ago.
Okay.
Before that, I was based in Bali, and yeah, for the winter time, I prefer to go to like Latin America or anywhere where it's warm and sunny. So, and yeah, I like to
Okay.
base my freedom, like my business around freedom, and so like not being dependent on any location, as I was saying. So that's something that inspired me, and
Yeah.
yeah, freedom in body, freedom in mind, freedom in location. It's like one of my priorities, I would say, and yeah, that's what I try to do.
Okay. See, this is why I love these conversations. Okay. You said the magic word. And this is why most people go into business for themselves. It's the freedom, right? Now, freedom of time, freedom of money. You can just pick up and go wherever you want. So you're living it.
Yes, I mean, I've been building it. Like, of course, there's like always things that come up, and like, you know, life is like changed. But yes, free. Like, I work towards a complete freedom in terms of vacation and
Mm.
financial freedom and freedom in the body.
Do you find the freedom aspect of it? Okay. I'm curious, do you find freedom to be lonely at times?
Lonely. Yes, actually, since the Christmas just was passing by, I realized that okay, I am the only one person right now who can do the same like lifestyle. For example, I have like a great friends in Vancouver, I have amazing friends in Bali or in Russia. I'm from Russia. So not many people can do the same thing that I can. So I always go to like new locations and try new things. But when the Christmas comes, I'm like, well, I'm kind of sad. And I'm like, I would love to go back to Moscow, for example, but visit my family. But because of the political situations, I'm not going there. But right now, and yes, it kind of felt freedom at the time, lonely at the times. But yeah, most of the time, I really like it, and it's really worth it.
Yeah. No, it's good. I mean, being a business owner, this is why I have the podcast. This is why I have my group programs. This is why we've just started, because this is January now. This is why I've just started the Entrepreneur Inner Circle, which is a private group of business owners who don't want to be alone anymore and they want to have sort of a peer-to-peer and a support group. Um, what would you say? Okay, so business owners, entrepreneurs, I mean, this is the stuff you're going to give. The golden nuggets you're about to give are for anyone really in life, but we're specifically our listeners are business owners, entrepreneurs. One thing I do with my clients, my coaching clients is, and we've talked about this before, is I have something called an energy audit because I find it's a little bit different than what you're going to talk about. But I find that business owners, especially smaller business owners, focus too much on the wrong activities, the activities that drain them of their energy. And some of those activities, they're not even tasks, they're not even that good at. But they feel like even if they have a small team of one or two or even five people, they still end up doing all these activities that drain them. It's usually the administrative, the bookkeeping, the invoicing, all the administrative stuff. And they get sucked into doing that and then they're drained. And they're not focusing on the activities that actually will move the needle for their business and that energize them. So you come from a different angle. I want to hear some tips and gold nuggets from you on how we can improve our productivity, our efficiency, our energy.
Sure. So first, of course, like delegate the things that you have
Yeah.
to do on a day-to-day basis, and just personally, how I was doing my schedule is like I wrote down the things that I'm like doing on a day-to-day basis, and that is like really easy to do and repeat. And I created just like a spreadsheet that I like a spreadsheet. It's like a system from a virtual assistant who helped me to those things. And the second part, I wrote a list of things that I'm not good at. And I wrote the second part of this list was like things that I'm good at and something that is like the core of my business, basically. And so I delegate the things that I'm not good at
Yeah.
because I don't want to learn more about like some optimization systems and stuff like this. I'm like, it's too much. And there's like a lot of smart, amazing people that can do that. So, and I'm like, okay, this is shift this is shift, and like I have my time for myself. And I've noticed like at the beginning I try to do everything myself, like save as much money as I can, and just be like, yeah, it's just like do everything by myself. But yeah, it led to burnout. I didn't really follow my own routine because I mean I teach fitness, I teach wellness, product like posture, but at the same time when I had like a big team or studio, I didn't have time for myself to like actually follow things that I'm doing.
Mm.
And yeah, there was like a point in business when I was completely burnt out and I'm like, okay, I have to stop everything because it's getting really bad. And I'm like, yeah, just align with what I'm doing and teaching because I'm not doing it myself. And so, yeah, I would say like first thing is just to start with yourself because you can't manage the chaotic things like the mess around you if there's a lot of mess inside you. So managing the life starting from the inside and then outside world kind of follows. And so what I do with this is just, yeah, obviously like mental clarity such as meditation and just like guiding your mind and your thoughts towards what's important and not spreading energy on something negative and like little things that annoys you or like little things that is not important at all. And then finding and like being able to process the stress that you experience on day-to-day life by allowing those emotions exist and feeling them, but at the same time, there is always a trade. Like if you're not constantly working with your body, if you're not relieving the stress, there's also a trade between you storing the stress in your muscles, in your postures, inside you, um, and choosing to move on, kind of, quote unquote, and that really affects your like the way you feel, you know. So I would really suggest to like being able to create the time in your schedule to let go of emotions and like do the physical like embodiment practices such as like flexibility, running, boxing, like whatever that might be for you, because there's different seasons in life and there's different reasons in life, and different types of activity and movement can help you to overcome those feelings. Sometimes it's really good to go for yoga, but sometimes you feel like, no, there's too much. And you just want to go for dance classes or like boxing, karate, like running. And yeah, I found for myself that like flexibility is like a non-negotiable thing for me to stay productive and like to hydrate my body, not only from like the water and nutrition, but also from movement. And yeah, that's what I do for myself.
Okay, so our listeners are out there. I'm going to put myself in their shoes. I'm in their shoes. Okay. Been in my business. I'm going to pretend just one of my listeners, 4 or 5 years. The bills are piling up. Clients are sort of trickling in. I'm not sleeping well at night. I'm sitting at my desk all the time, doing the work during the day, and then I'm I don't realize it. Like we don't realize like we're tensing up. Like every time you said posture, I'm like, okay, I got to sit straight. I got to shoulders back. And what is there a routine? Again, I mean, this is not just for business owners. This is for everybody. But especially if you're at your computer all the time and the stress is building up and the tension, is there a specific routine that you can give us right now? Give me. Let's just, you're talking to me.
Sure. So first of all, sure, you can have like an hour, 3 times a week, and you can work out, but at the same
Mhm.
time, we're spending like at least 8 hours, like especially if you're a business owner, you spend way more hours sitting at the desk and just like on the calls and like in the car and stuff like this. So the main thing I would always say, just like manage the space around you by getting a standing desk. Or I always like I'm traveling right now, but at my home office I have like a shuttle bike, small one. I got it from Amazon. It costs $30,
Mhm.
and it's amazing because you're just placing it under the table and like you switching throughout the day. I have like an alarm clock when like it's beeping like every second hour, and I'm switching from like standing to sitting and like pedaling, so which is like helps my blood flowing, which is already again like giving me better results, and I don't
Mm.
feel as exhausted after like a long sitting day compared to as if it would just be sitting. That's the first one. Second is put like a breaks for sure. I think it's like a cliche and everybody's recommending to do that, but like yes, literally add it to your alarms and like get like a every hour breaks for stretching. And by stretching, I mean like not just like you don't even have to stand up and do anything like big. You can stretch your eyes, which is like the ocular nerve. Usually we just like stay like looking forward or down, and meaning that we like really tighten the whole fascial connection. Like fascia connects everything in the body, like your eyes to your knees, feet, like hands,
Mm.
whatever, everything. And we're getting tight and we're losing the range of motion by like the range of motion slowly decreasing over the years because we actually using like we're doing the same thing, we're doing the same movement, the same patterns on a day-to-day basis. And so one thing I would definitely suggest to focus on, that's important now. So stretch your eyes. Like let's say you're sitting at the work and you want to get yourself a break, so try to draw the circles with your eyes, like really push send your gaze to the left side, all the way up to the side, then to the right,
Oh, okay.
and hold it. And you will feel that your eyes is stretching. And so the more circles you like giving yourself, like the more circles you do and the more you push your gaze to the side or like to all this range of motion, the more you will notice that you actually feel a little bit more freedom already, and plus it's like a really good for the for the eyes health and all those things. So that would be
Mm.
the first thing. And surprisingly, I actually recently gave a TED talk, and I was saying like I was demonstrating to people in like my audience in the like crowd how we can get flexible and how we can get deeper in the forward flow just by stretching the eyes and small muscles on the face, which I always suggest people to do. So first would be the eyes. Second is massaging the forehead, because here is the muscles that is like it's a fascial connection that goes all the way through the back of your head, and it connects your neck, your upper body, like thoracic spine on the back of your shoulder blades, your lower back, and goes all the way down towards the hamstring. So if this tight spot, your forehead, is actually tight, it affects overall flexibility. And so what we want to do is just placing the knuckles on the head and just massaging it in the circles, and
Mm.
that will be very helpful. Like you can try to meet, yeah.
Okay.
So for like and that will be really good as well. So the third spot would be the back of the neck, like the base of the neck, massaging that area for like 1 to 2 minutes, and going like very deep, like bypassing the surface level connective tissues, and those three actions would already improve your neck health, like blood
Mm.
flow and all the things. So that's like the super easy one that you can always do, like even as you are the calls. So another one would be stretching the hands, like stretching the fingers, because the more we tie, like the mobility of our shoulders starts in our fingers and wrists. And so I always suggest people like to spread your fingers, send it forward to the side, and you will feel like your hands actually like really tight as well as the fingers. And so that would be very good stretch as well that you can implement on a day-to-day basis, and it costs you nothing.
Okay, I have some work to do. I'm gonna have to watch this a few times.
It's so easy. Like, yeah, just remember, like, just try to do it with me. Spread your fingers, send it forward,
Yeah.
and yeah. So,
It's interesting. So, whether you like him or don't like him, like Tony Robbins, he always talks about changing your physiological state, right? And which is really what this is. It's helping you change your physiological state. And he says like, so before he goes on stage, he has a little trampoline and he goes on the trampoline and he jumps up because he's going to be on stage for like, 5 days or whatever. And okay, how would you, okay, it's great to have these tips. Okay, let's talk about reality. Let's talk about actually implementation. You know what to do. We haven't even talked about the breath work yet. Like there's breath work and all this stuff. There's all these different strategies that we as business owners, entrepreneurs can do. Should we block them, like time block them into our calendar?
yes, for sure, always. Like, what I've learned is like if something does not exist in your calendar, it does not exist in reality.
Yeah.
Like, I literally like spend like maybe an hour every month, like blocking the time when I'm like, okay, this is the time for myself. This is the time when I don't speak to anybody. This is the time when I'm practicing. This is the time when I'm angry. And like also the really
Did
good
you
example
did you say angry?
for
Sorry, did you say angry?
yes, angry. Like literally, I'm like, let's say things happens and like I mean, if you work on like, if you grow, like it's like so many things that happen that pisses you off, and you're just like, okay, I can't talk about it. I can't think about it now. I always said like, okay, I'm gonna think about it like on Wednesday. So Wednesday, I'm like writing things down and
Yeah.
like allowing myself to be angry because and just like yeah, it kind of feels like I'm having this safe container for myself with that, like I'm acknowledging my emotions and I'm not really getting like poker face all the time, but I'm also allowing myself to like not think about it because I know I can be angry. I have this time to be frustrated or do nothing or like whatever, like to have all this like low emotions and have it on my schedule, And all the other time, I have no excuses not to be productive because I'm like, okay, this is already done, it's there,
Mhm.
and yeah, that's how you
Yeah.
managing it.
Okay. I like that. Schedule your angry block.
I mean, yeah, it sounds weird, but like I don't know.
No.
I heard it somewhere and it helped a lot. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, that's yeah, it works.
Well, no. I'm not like like I love the idea. I think implementing it for a lot of people, obviously it's like anything else. All these other strategies too. It takes habits, it takes practice to become a habit. Um, Problem is we're all so reactive, right?
Mhm.
And there's those people who say, well, don't be angry, just like shrug it off. Something happens, even if it's like a prospect, like a client cancels or a prospect ghosts you or a client ghosts you and you start to get like, you start to get down, you start to feel angry. People say, oh, just shrug it off, shrug it off, shrug it off. No, but there's times where we can actually have a safe space where we can go through those emotions. So what you're suggesting is we block that time rather than being reactive in the moment.
Yes.
There is a safe space for it.
Yeah, it's just like first of all, like of course you should always be focusing on like the ending result. Like, if somebody did something unfair and stuff like this, like sure, they was unfair, but like what's your ending goal? Like do you want to be like actually productive? Do you want to make things done? Or like do you want to prove that you're right? Just like if you want to make things done, like just, forget about it, have this time on Wednesday and
Hmm.
just like when you put the black magic on them, like whatever, like no, I'm joking, but yes,
Yeah.
focus on make things done, but also try not to like, suppress your emotions, which is so important because
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
I've noticed in my clients, like let's say they come to me on a private session and I'm just like, okay, try to like relax and feel your body, try to like release your shoulders and stuff like that. And they're just like holding so much tension. They're just like, yeah, I'm relaxed. And I'm like, you're absolutely not. And they're like,
Yeah.
I am. You just so get used to this. And yeah, practice as like shaking it off, like, jumping. And yeah, as Tanya Robbins said, it really helps. because there is a direct correlation between the way you're feeling and like the amount of stress that your body holds. Let's say, or tight jaw, or like the shoulders or the lower back. It's like hips that is tight, but like yeah, I would love to talk about like the most simple one, like the shoulders and the jaw. When we angry, we like punching our jaw, and by releasing it, we're sending the signal to the body that it's safe and it's okay, it's getting better, and so it really helps to feel you like to feel better. As well as you can immediately change your mental state by like let's say like rounding the shoulders forward, like crawling here, and you will feel that you get a bit smaller compared to the time when you're like opening your shoulders, like standing tall, taking a deep breath in, and you already feel a lot more present and a lot more powerful. And so yeah, that's the simplest body
So,
practice.
so it's no surprise then, okay, that probably millions of kids out there, teenagers out there, and now young adults are depressed because through the pandemic, they, especially boys, they were at their computer or even just online school, but at their computer playing Fortnite or whatever the game was, and they're like on their, computer and they're on their whatever gamepad and their shoulders are short forward and they're like constantly at the screen and they're tensing up constantly, and you wonder why there's so much mental health issues with that generation, and I mean other generations too, but especially the kids the gamers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
from a physiological perspective, of course, when the neck goes forward, you like
Yeah.
literally blocking the blood flow, lymphatic flow, like everything just like shifting forward, and this whole
Mm.
construction just like steals so much of your energy. Plus, of course, we're sending the like neurological message to your nerve system that like everything is not good. You like constantly living in that state.
Hmm.
And one thing I wanted to say actually that you say that every time I say the word posture, you want to like
Yeah.
sit tall. And the important thing to say is that actually your posture, not like you cannot really control your posture. Like every time somebody will tell you like, oh, like open your chest and sit tall, like you will forget about it like in a few minutes.
Hmm.
It's impossible, like literally impossible to control it consciously because your nerve system control your posture. And so the only way to actually fix the posture is by working through the nerve system and actually teach constantly your body how the straight, upright position is feels right and feels good. So, for example, when somebody tells me like that I have a really good posture, I don't even think about it, and it feels natural because like I don't really spend any energy on that. And so that's what the proper posture training is. Like you want to teach your body how to be straight
Hmm.
naturally without putting any effort in it.
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch this a few times because yeah, it's really, I think too many people downplay all of this. Like it's they think, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it's breath work and posture and even the standing desks, right? Just people, or they don't. Maybe they say, okay, I'll try it, but then everyone just falls back into their old habits. And so I always say, like, if you really want things to change, we have to change the things we do. And it might not be, like you said, it might not, you might not be consciously thinking of it, but if you keep doing it, keep doing it, and keep doing it, then it becomes part of your subconscious. And I mean, it's not like we have to wake up in the morning and think, oh, I got to go brush my teeth. You just get up and you go brush your teeth. It's a, if you're a kid, a younger kid, you don't. The parents are saying, go brush your teeth. But then it becomes a habit and then you just subconsciously do it. And you don't think about it. And it sounds like that's a lot of what you're talking about here is just setting yourself up for success really is what this is all about.
I think like one of the main thing I've noticed between like let's say Canadian and Russian mentality is that in Russia, for example, which I find really helpful. Like if someone would notice that you gain weight or like your posture would be bad or you're getting old, people would be like, oh, but yeah, you feel really bad. Like you look really bad. Like you look bad. You look old. And like go change it. And like it's really like because you're getting this pressure you like the pain from being judged somewhere like bigger than the pain of change. And so you just like you would listen to this, think in your head like, oh my god, what an asshole. And then like right the same day you go and you change it because there's like no problem. Compared to Canada, when everybody like, oh, it's okay, everything is okay. And then you like living and yeah, you kind of understand that it's probably would be good to get a standing desk or would be good to massage your feet like for the better posture or like would be good to get all these things and you was watching this nice podcast and heard this like nice tips, but you don't do it because society tells you that it's good.
It's okay.
And so it's not. In reality, you're actually getting all you like your body is your biggest asset and your body is your weapon. Like seriously, like don't let it rust. And it's like it's not worth the money that you make, it's not worth the productivity. Like you're like the better you are here and now, the more you actually moving and working on yourself, like on your body and your health, the better you will perform, the better you will lead your team, like and perform in a bigger life. Yeah.
So do you work?
Sorry? Yeah, that's what I always try to tell people. Like, try to think like Russian and try to be this, like, internal Russian boy that is like, no, it's not okay. I gotta go and do it like right now. And if it's not happening today, it's never happened.
Yeah, they do it here in Canada too. I mean, it's usually the people that are like 60s and 70s, like especially in their 70s, the older people, they're the ones who actually make the comments. Oh, you put on some weight, you've gotten fat. But the people younger, yeah, we don't normally do it. I mean, especially the Canadians were nice, right? But we're nice until we start to get into our 70s and 80s, and then we make the comments.
That's really nice. Very sweet. But it's like it gets really tough when you like if you actually want to make changes. They will always support you, unlike Russian people. So it's like two sides of the coin.
So, like, I'm a quarter Russian or half Russian, so I get that. I'm curious. So, you work with. You talked about like leadership teams and bringing to business. You work with companies on improving their effectiveness, productiveness, energy.
Yes, I've been working, like I teach like in Vancouver, I run a few workshops on posture and like I just highlight like my 5 pillars of flexibility and just do those things. As well as I did like a corporate fitness, which is a really good thing. Like some corporates in Vancouver, they hiring the trainers for like their teams to come and train them at 12 p.m. like on a lunch break a few times a week, and I find it like really amazing. So it's like good because some companies start to understand now, like okay, if like their team is healthier, the overall performance gets better.
Yeah. Okay, so I have a couple more questions, but we're going to put your before we do that, go there. Just want to make sure we're going to put your contact information in the show notes. Okay, what is the best way for people to get in touch with you?
LinkedIn under Yulia Yumalova name and Bali Body Instagram. It's like at Bali.bodies. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like really active here.
Yeah, I follow you on both, so that's perfect. I'll get those in there. Okay. What would you say, 14 years in business right now, what would you say to your younger self if you knew then what you know now in business? Is there something you would tell your younger self to prepare yourself for this 14-year journey?
Don't try to save as much money and just like don't try to invent a bicycle, like don't try to create everything by yourself and just like learn how to trust people to delegate those things, because there were many times when I would like talk to someone and think like, oh yeah, that's good, but I can definitely do it myself. And it would take months and months to do that. As well as on the other side, when let's say I was like building a studio, and when I had my first design and everything, I was looking at it. I'm like, yeah, that was like 3 to 4 months max, like of work. And then it took me like 14 months of construction, and it was like very exhausting, like in my head, especially because I was thinking that okay, it's gonna be done like tomorrow, after tomorrow. And then it was like continuously like prolonging, and like I would say sometimes we would have to surrender and just like take things slowly and just like not try to rush, because like it's just really exhausting for yourself. So like have the plan, have the direction, go there, but like try not to force it because it happens.
So I guess it's kind of like what I say to my client: trust the process.
Yeah. As well, like it's a cliche, but yes.
I know, but it's true, right? It's trust the process. Like as long as you have the plan, you know where you want to go, and you have the plan to get there. It's not necessarily linear. You might go this way, you might go that way. It's a little zigzag. As long as you know where you're trying to get to, you'll stay on that path. The path is not always like dead straight. And sometimes there'll be some speed bumps. There's always speed bumps.
Yeah, always.
Always speed bumps. Okay. All right. Final question. Well, actually, I'm going to ask you an open question. Is there anything else that you would like to share with our listeners?
Well, I would love to share that, like, I would love them to understand actually the importance of like the flexibility, to be honest, because it's directly affects the day-to-day life and the way they feel in the body. And I feel like it's very neglected in work, like, in wellness industry as well, because people have like bodybuilding or they have like yoga, and flexibility, it's none of them. Like the flexibility is the way that you hydrate your body through the movements, and the better your body the better hydrated your body is, the more flexibility and the better range of motion you have. And so, yes, I would say that for the entrepreneurs and for people who want to stay flexible, feel healthy and energized, definitely check out the guide that I will give you here. And because it's a 5 pillars of flexibility, which includes your core, your postural muscles, your spine health, and the dynamic stretching, which is like nothing similar, like yoga have. It's a bit different. So yeah, I would say that they definitely need to focus on that line.
So you said this 5 pillars, this guide. Where do they get the guide?
I will give it to you.
Okay.
Yes, and like they can get it on like
So it's like,
sending me the flexibility board or something like this. Yeah.
okay. Is the best way like through either way, like social media, LinkedIn, just get in touch with you and you'll send it to them?
Yes.
Yeah.
They
Okay.
can send it to me. They can send the keyword flexibility, and I'll send it.
Keyword flexibility. Perfect. Awesome. Awesome. Do you have any questions for me?
What inspires you to do what you do?
Conversations like this, people like you.
Beautiful.
No, but seriously, like what inspires me to do what I do is simply helping inspire and empower others, business owners, entrepreneurs, and really just in life, other people to, again, it's going to sound cheesy and cliche-ish, but to live their best life, to achieve what they want to achieve or be on the path to achieving what they want to achieve. That's what inspires me to do this podcast, to do anything in life. Thank you. That was good. Thank you for the question. Okay, so one last question for you. I'm going to see, or did I ask all those questions? I would say, yeah, well, the last question is going to be, what is one, you've given so much already. So thank you for that. Was one more golden nugget? Is there one more golden nugget that you would like to gift to our listeners? One more piece of advice, one more golden nugget.
Area, like in like life and business and wellness and
Yes, yes. Whatever you want. It's all the same. It's all the same.
Okay, yeah, I would say that, yeah, like for example, for me, like it really helps whenever I'm getting inspired. That's why I always like this question, like what inspires you? Like, and I'll always ask people and collect the stories in their answers. Because if you don't know what inspires you, like you still keep pushing, and there are like really hard moments in life when you don't know what inspires you, you don't know what you're going to, and like you're trying to find your way. But at the same time, feel like it's really important to have this small, like I would say, like box of inspiration that you know that you can go and get some inspiration, some new ideas, some fresh air by like certain practices, different, experiences, like and something that will keep you being curious about life because the longer we live, the more we think like, okay, I've done this thing, I tried this, I know how this works. But I think that there's so much more things to learn, experience, and try. Um, it's just important to stay curious and to find these ways to ask the questions and be curious about life. And so, yeah, I would say that try to be curious and try to stay inspired. That would be my advice.
I absolutely love it. That's actually, I don't know if you've ever watched the show Ted Lasso, but that was that was one of my favorite scenes, and it was a quote by I think it was Walt Whitman, but it's like be curious, and he mentions it in the show, and so be curious. So I love that. Well, okay, Yulia, has been amazing. So I'm getting your stuff in the show notes. People are going to reach out to you. The keyword is flexibility, but just reach out, gang. Reach out to Yulia, and I mean, watch this again. Share it with your friends. Watch if you're listening to the podcast on Spotify, Amazon, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is. Check out the YouTube video as well, because there is a bit of show and tell that she does with some of these exercises as well. So you can go to Marshall Stern Leadership on the YouTube channel. Please share and subscribe and tell all your friends about Yulia, because she's amazing. Okay. Seriously, like this is not just fluff, this stuff. That's why this podcast is around. It's for people like you to share this, because it's not fluff. It's not. We get stuck doing the wrong activities for the wrong reasons in the wrong way. One of the things we talked about sort of in a roundabout way was our environment, our physical environment, also our emotional environment. And if we just work on and be intentional with how we show up and how we live our life and our body, which is what we're talking about here today, I mean, everything can be different. Everything can be different. So I want to thank Yulia for being here, and it's been an absolute pleasure. And we might have to have you back in the future if you'd like to come back.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
Awesome. All right, gang. Again, get questions, comments. If you do have questions, specific questions, you can reach out to her direct. You can also go on YouTube. You can also post your questions wherever you're listening to this. And thank you. And we'll see you again next week on another episode of the Stern Truth Business Unfiltered. Bye for now. Thank you so much for tuning in to The Stern Truth. If you found today's episode helpful, we would love to hear from you. Please like, share, and leave us a review. Also, if you'd like to be a guest in an upcoming episode or join us in one of our Momentum Accountability Group sessions, simply email me to marshall@marshallstern.net. That's marshallstern.net. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep pushing forward and leading with confidence.